This is a guide to Plymouth South High School's culture. The picture to the left is the entrance of the high school. There is a police officer posing in front of the school because, unlike most schools, this high school has a real police officer named Officer Reamer present every day in school. This guide was made by myself, Jessica Letendre. My picture's on the right, a fellow senior at Plymouth South High School. How to behave on the bus. Every morning a bus comes to pick you up for school. The school bus is yellow and typically looks like the picture on the left. Every student is required to obtain a bus pass in order to ride the bus each year. When getting on the bus each morning, it is good to greet your bus driver. Having a friendly bus driver makes the ride go more smoothly. If you don't, they tend to dislike you. When choosing a bus seat, there are social rules of the bus. Freshmen and sophomores sit in the front, while juniors and seniors sit in the back. If you sit in the back when you're an underclassman, the upperclassmen typically shun you and make fun of you, so in order to have a nice smooth ride, it's important to follow the social rules of where to sit on the bus. The bus seats look like these on the left. They do not have seat belts because it is not required, but it is typically safe to just say 1 or 2 person in a seat. Do not try to fit 3 people. And most people prefer sitting by themselves, so don't sit with a friend if there's an empty seat right near them. Just sit by yourself. How to behave at lunch. Every day you have to bring lunch money, or you can put lunch money on your account. It's $2.25. When you first enter the lunchroom, step 1, you select a lunch. Most of the food they have, specials every day, such as pizza or chicken nuggets, is disgusting. So there's an option called deli bar or salad bar, which most students get, but it's important to get there first because the line will get really long. Step 2, pay for your lunch. We don't use those tray things because instead now we have plastic trays or paper trays that you throw away when you're done with your meal. You have to pay for your lunch. It's really important. The lunch lady standing there watches the doorway to make sure no one steals lunch. Step 3, scan the lunchroom for your friends. There's 1, 2, 3 floors, as you can tell, in the lunchroom. If you have to sit with a group of people you know at lunch, and typically it's the same table every day. You're just scouting out where that table is. But if you sit with a random group of people, they'll probably get up and leave, or it will be really awkward. Step 4, as you're selecting the lunch table and sit down, the first floor typically has underclassmen. The second floor typically is where most people sit, and the third floor is where kind of people trying to be cool sit. So it's important to sit on the first or second floor. I prefer the second floor, and once you sit there, you stay there for the entire lunch, unless it's to throw away your trash or go purchase a water or a snack at one of the school stores. There are teachers all throughout the lunch that stand around to make sure you behave. So make sure you behave yourself at lunch and act appropriate by not causing any outbursts, and just sit there amicably eating your lunch, because they're there to make sure that everything goes smoothly. And if you do not abide, you can get in trouble. How to behave during class. First, when you enter the room, you typically sit in the same seat every day. In high school, you don't necessarily have assigned seats, but you want to stay in the same seat every day, and it's usually near a group of your friends. So this is what a typical desk looks like. And students use backpacks, as you can see right there. This student has a backpack. So sit properly in the chair facing forward. So you'll sit here and you'll be facing towards the board. And a typical classroom has the desks organized in rows. It's not middle school anymore where you have desks in groups. Another thing that's very unique about Plymouth South High School is, as you can see in this classroom, we have paintings and a lot of fun things on the walls of the classroom that make it entertaining. So, while you're in class, it's important to pay attention, like these kids are. Do not do what that kid is sleeping with his head down. Administration does not like that, and they frequently walk through the classrooms, and if they see you like that, you'll get talked to. So pay attention, do your work, or you will not graduate. They do not just push you by. You have to do your work. We also have a vast amount of technology in classrooms, as you can see right here. this classroom's using one of our Eno boards where you can play videos. It's kind of like a technology advanced whiteboard, so that's very unique. It might be hard to see, but over here is the teacher and the teacher's desk. It's usually at the head of the classroom, and if you do not respect him, he'll kick you out. He doesn't really care if you do the work. Well, they care. They just, if you're not going to do the work, they don't care if you're there. Participation is key. How to behave in the halls. While walking in the halls, it's important to avoid the main stairs right here. They get very crowded and packed during passing, and people fall down the stairs, and it's really embarrassing. And there's also a certain pace you have to keep up with walking, and so it is best to avoid them. People get pushed and shoved, especially if you're an underclassman. Mostly upperclassmen walk on these stairs. So located, there's 3 back stairs around the building. Those are very good to utilize. They're less crowded, and it's for people that are just trying to get to their class quickly. It is important not to wander because there's only 4 minutes between each period, and the hallways get very crowded, so it's good to be in the hallways as short of a time as possible. Most students typically do not use their lockers since there is only 4 minutes between periods. You have to get to point A to point B quickly. If you're late to the class and you don't have a pass, a teacher typically won't let you in. If you are more than 5 minutes late to a class, it's also considered an absence, so it's very important to be in class because half your classes you can only have 9 absences to receive credit. In full year, you can only have 18 absences to receive credit, and if you don't receive credit, you do not graduate. People you need to know when entering high school. It's important to establish good connections with them. Miss Dorr is the health teacher. She gives great advice and also has been through a lot, so she gives very good advice. And then Mr. Westfield right there, he's known for roaming the hallways and he has a good sense of humor. He teaches electronics, so most likely you won't have a class with him, but it's good to match a name to the face of the person you see at least once a day. The guidance counselors are very important. You see them a lot, mostly senior year. They're the ones that send your transcripts over to college and help you through that entire process. There are many of them, so each person is assigned a different one based on where they fall in the alphabet. The nurses are very important. There's academic and tech nurses. The nurses are there for when you don't feel good, and also going home from them is an excused absence. So if you're getting up there in absences, it's good to go there so you can go home that way and versus getting an unexcused absence. Then there's the administration members. It's hard to get pictures of them because they're so busy, but on the left is Mr. LaRanger. He's an assistant principal. His office is on the 2nd floor, and he mostly deals with the freshmen. And then to the right is Mr. Fornashari, who's a very nice guy, and he's another assistant principal. And then people I don't have pictures of are Miss Whittle, who's an assistant principal, Mr. Hanna, who is the principal of the tech wing, and then Miss Fry, who's the principal of the entire school. Those are the people you'll answer to if you do something bad, but it's also good to greet them in the hallways and stuff to establish a connection so they can personalize you instead of group you in a cluster with an entire population of students. They can be very nice or very mean or tough on you, so it's good to just abide by their rules so you don't have to suffer any consequences. The end.